After Bob Myers and the Warriors chose not to make a trade at the NBA trade deadline, it wasn't at all surprising to see Golden State emerge as what most recent league-wide reports have indicated to be a team that is planning on being a player in the buyout market. Now, the buyout market, as we all know, is commonly employed by contenders to snare lagging veterans at a more reasonable rate. Now, it's no secret that the major area that the Golden State Warriors have lacked in is size. A need by all accounts that they do need to shore up with some insurance as they gear up for what seems to be another deep playoff run as championship contenders once again. Now, despite the fact that the Dubs have a wealth of postseason experience, there's certainly a type of divide that exists between the core group of starters and their second unit. Draymond Green, Steph Curry, or Klay Thompson. Now, we're all aware of what they're capable of during duress, but if one were to contrast this with what Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, and Gary Payton II have in common, the answer wouldn't be as clear-cut, to put things lightly. Now, Iggy may fit into the playoff rotation slot, but his health has been a point of conflict, and it isn't a long-term guarantee. Now, this major contrast has a lot to do with playmaking as well, which is why the Dubs were said to be amongst the frontrunners for the Goran Dragic buyout sweepstakes. And side note, this will not be happening anymore, as news just emerged not long before the posting of this video that Dragic will be taking his talents to Ben Simmons and the Brooklyn Nets. Now you see, here's the problem. See, a lack of size at the 4 and 5 spots, the team's major weakness, can easily be exposed against opponents with true big men. Teams such as the Grizzlies and the Pelicans would be the main causes for concern here, as it's no secret that they are stacked with size at both the 4 and the 5, and not to mention the mobility is there as well. Now, according to StatMuse, and this is very important to note here, the Warriors are the best defensive team in the NBA, despite the fact that they continue to struggle in terms of rim protection for an entire 48 minutes against teams with bigger and stronger front lines. Now, while Warriors center Kevon Looney has performed admirably this season, Draymond Green's absence has been felt, and it has weakened an already thin and undersized Golden State interior. Now, taking all of this into account, the Warriors' interest in Lopez is certainly understandable. He's a true 7-foot center who can bang on the boards with the big boys and be a solid presence in the paint on both ends. By the way, we did just hit 1,000 subs, and this is a 4-month-old channel. We're based out of Toronto, but I'm a huge NBA fan, and I will be expanding my reach now to different NBA teams. So if you are new and if you're an NBA fan in general, we don't just welcome Raptors fans, we welcome NBA fans. So do hit that like and subscribe button so that this video can get to the right sets of eyes. At 30 years old and plenty left in the tank, Lopez would bring to the Warriors exactly what they need. And with career averages of 8.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks per game, coupled with solid playoff experience that he had with Portland, that resume alone makes him a worthy addition. It's definitely also worth mentioning that Bill Simmons mentioned recently on his podcast that I would watch out for Robin Lopez with them, because Kerr drafted him, he's a good chemistry guy, he fits in, he adds some size, and it seems like a buyout guy. And Simmons does make a key point here, as Lopez would be precisely the type of no-mistakes reserve player that Steve Kerr favors around his stars. Not to mention his personality type is one that has been well regarded in terms of his locker room presence. And what NBA or sports team in general for that matter wouldn't want that?
Give it to me. Yeah. Give it to me.
With Draymond having sat out 15 games already and the Warriors' middle having been depleted even further because of this adds another reason to add Lopez as an insurance marker so that they can gear up for a deep postseason run. I personally think that acquiring Robin Lopez, or a big man as such, should be a top priority for the Warriors, and it doesn't seem like there are any better options out there at the moment, at least not veteran and proven ones. So I honestly think if given the chance, the Warriors should not hesitate. The front office should definitely snag the services of Robin Lopez, as he is sure to impact this team in a beneficial way. I made a take right around the time Steph broke that Ray Allen record for most career threes. I go in depth on the history he's been making this season, and although I made the video a bit earlier in the season, it's still relevant to the absolute godliness that the 33-year-old superstar has displayed yet again this year. You do not want to miss that one, especially if you enjoyed this one. And remember, if you do watch it, you'll be feeding a hungry African. Seriously, I'm African, and I get hungry a lot. Got some munchies?